What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. The community is growing right now, so thank y'all for coming back and giving me that support. Means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel as well, and I love seeing all of the new faces within the community. So thank you guys again, truly appreciate it. Now in today's video, I want to go over some exotic and legendary weapons that I'm going to be taking into next season with me for Solar 3.0. Now yesterday's video I know was on the armor we were bringing in, so this one today we're going to be talking about the weapons we are going to be pairing with those pieces of armor. Now there are a lot of solar weapons inside the game of Destiny, so we're not going to be covering all of them. I will put a list at the bottom in the description of all of them that I have on my list here that I kind of were thinking about adding to the video, but I'm just going to go over some of my base ones and some of the best that I think are going to be used instead of going over every single one and having an hour-and-a-half video. So to start out with our exotics in our energy slot, I'm going to go with Sunshot right here, the only 150 left within the game for our hand cannons. This thing causes explosions for those solar final blows, and then you also highlight targets that take damage from the Sunshot. Super nice weapon to have for solar explosions. Think it's going to create great solar synergy for that energy slot. Next off, I'm going to go with the Prometheus lens. So this fires a solar trace beams that generates damaging heat field that grows while the weapon is continuously fired. So the more you fire, the better damaging the heat field is, which this thing is going to be nice pairing it with some of those solar kills that we can get, creating a bunch of solar synergy for this weapon here. Another energy weapon that is super S tier for me in the solar slot is the Tiku's Divination Bow. So hit firing, the weapon fires multiple tracking projectiles. Targets that are marked by these projectiles explode upon death, or when struck by another sacred flame explosion, which is when you are aimed into the bow and then pull it all the way back. That'll cause them to explode. So this is super nice for creating those solar explosions. Gonna be a great solar addition for Solar 3.0. Next off, we have the classy Vex Mythoclast right here. That nice old linear fusion combo that we get from the Vault of Glass. Super great solar weapon, basically like an auto rifle. When you get it charged up, you can change the action to create a sniper rifle linear fusion sort of feel to it that does a decent amount of damage. So I can see this bad boy coming back, being the front runner again for some energy weapons in that solar exotic slot. Next off, we have one of our new weapons, which I am a super big nerd for, the Dead Messenger. The Trinary Vision one-shot handheld grenade launcher. Projectiles relieve a fan of 3 energy waves on contact with the ground. Now, this one you can switch between Void, Arc, and Solar, so switching it to that Solar burn and letting this thing eat as a wave grenade launcher is going to be absolutely great, and having that ability to switch between Void, Solar, and Arc is also good, taking it into endgame and hitting up those different shields with match game. Now on top of that, I'm going to bring in the Hard Light as well, auto rifle, so rounds fired with this weapon have reduced damage fall off over penetrating targets and then ricochet off hard surfaces. Projectiles damage increase after the bounce. Once again, this is nice because we can switch between Void, Solar, and Arc, so throwing Solar on this is going to be nice for that solar synergy, and then having the ability to change for that match game is also going to be super great. Moving on to our heavy weapons here. First off, we're going to go with our Sleeper Simulant. I think this thing is going to be great. It is already super high DPS at the moment. So with that addition to Solar 3.0, this right here, Linear Fusion, is going to be a great heavy exotic to have on you, doing that little extra damage for the shots. Moving on here, we might see the return of Whisper of the Worm with the changes that they have to it, being able to get the catalyst again for those who don't have it. We might be able to see this solar sniper rifle come back. Used to be the DPS king back in the day, year one, all of that when it came out. So we will see if this bad boy has its return. Definitely looking forward to it. One of my favorite weapons inside of Destiny. Next off right here, we have the 1K 1000 Voices. This thing came from the Last Wish raid. We all know what it does. Shoots out that beam of death, the solar beam that explodes after it hits on contact. So this is going to be a pretty crazy fusion rifle for our heavy slot with Solar 3.0. Next off, the return of the King. Xenophage is back next season, I believe, with Solar 3.0, getting that little bit of faster rounds per minute rate again, causing that extra damage. I think that this is going to be pretty king for DPS and Solar 3.0 next season. Last but certainly not least for our exotics for Solar, we're going with the Gallarhorn. Just got our baby back and she slaps so hard. By far the most used, at least for me, that I see in PvE realm. Getting this thing to do crazy damage, ad clear, basically anything you need it to do. Pairing it, being able to give other people the Wolfpack rounds on the Solar Void, Arc, whatever rockets they may be using is a crazy addition to this rocket. Definitely one of my favorites that Destiny has had since we had it back in D1. So this one right here definitely coming with me for Solar Synergy next season. So first off, we have the Summoner here. And now it doesn't have to be Adept. This is just the one that I am showing. I think that this for an auto rifle is going to be great for that Solar 3.0 synergy that we're going to have next season. We have two pulse rifles that I want to go over for our Solar right here. First off, we have this one from Iron Banner, the Forge's Pledge. This is super great in my opinion. Been using it a lot in Master Wellspring, and it has some pretty good perks in it for our PvE roles, and in PvP it does slap pretty well as well. So this thing is going to be nice for that Solar 3.0. Next off right here, we have the Jurassic Green from our Halloween event. This is one of those little quicker 540 round per minute pulse rifles. Absolutely love this thing. Again, been using it a lot in PvE to break those solar shields. One of my favorite scout rifles in the game that I am going to bring with us next season for Solar 3.0 is the Trusty from the Deepstone Crypt raid. This thing absolutely slaps with that rapid fire frame. I love this scout rifle for sure. So if you haven't been able to get it, try and go in Deepstone Crypt and get yourself a Trusty. Going to be a banging scout rifle for next season. Next on my list, I have Explosive Personality, another wave frame grenade launcher here for our Solar slot. This comes from our Psyops Battlegrounds this season with the Land Tank original perk on it. I am a nerd for wave frame grenade launchers, and I think this is going to have some nice synergy next season with Solar 3.0. Right here we have the Cartesian Coordinate Fusion Rifle. This thing was king last season with particle deconstruction. Still does very well with Vorpal weapon on it, and I think next season with that solar burn is going to have even better solar synergy and damage based on the changes that we're going to get with Solar 3.0. So definitely go and grab one of these. World drop comes from a couple different places. Now, sticking with the trace rifle, just like Prometheum Lens, we have the Retraced Path, which came from our 30th anniversary event, just like the Halo weapon here. This thing is going to be kind of nice with Golden Tricorn or even Subsistence Frenzy like this, having that solar burn and just creating those solar synergy explosions with this weapon. I think it's going to be nice and take another little bump forward on the usage chart based on Solar 3.0. So last but not least, for our solar and energy class right here, I'm going to go over 3 different weapons, the IKELOS weapons. Now these are going to be great, one because 2 of them are solar weapons, and then also they have the ability to create Warmind cells, which I think are going to pop off next season with Solar 3.0. So first off, for our sniper rifle, we have the IKELOS Sniper Rifle version 2 right here. Now this is a rapid fire frame that burns solar and has the chance to create our solar orbs with Warmind cells. Going to be Explosion City with this bad boy. Another one of those IKELOS weapons that I was talking about that is solar is our IKELOS shotgun. The old one used to be crazy for DPS. This one taking a little bit of hit because of our other options, but I do think that this is going to also slap super hard for solar, and then on top of that, we get Warmind cells from this bad boy as well. Finally, for our IKELOS weapons, I know this one is arc damage, but being able to create those Warmind cells with this is so easy, and it's definitely one of the best SMGs in game. I almost have 25,000 kills on mine, so definitely grab yourself an IKELOS SMG for those Warmind cells next season. Lastly, we got some heavies that we're going to go over. So first off, we have 3 rockets that I want to cover. The Code Duello, we have Haitian Vengeance, and then also our seasonal weapon, the Ascendancy. I think all 3 of these solar rockets are going to be absolutely banging next season, and we don't have too many of them besides these 3 that aren't sunset. So I think that these 3 are going to be super nice for that extra little bit of damage when you're not using something like Gallowhorn and you need a legendary rocket to throw on top of it. Now, another weapon from this year's Iron Banner that we got is the Archon's Thunder, a solar machine gun. This thing is pretty good, has some nice perks with auto-loading and rampage on it, so this is going to be nice again for that solar synergy. By far, one of my favorite swords in the game is the Solar Scar, which is a caster frame which shoots those projectiles of solar energy. You can get chain reaction on this bad boy, so you get an even extra amount of solar explosions. This thing is going to be super nice in my opinion. Going to be bringing it back out of my vault once Solar 3.0 comes along. And last but not least, right here, the Cataclysmic Linear Fusion Rifle from the Vow of the Disciple raid. This has some pretty great perks that we can get on it, and we are also able to craft this bad boy. So thinking about DPS coming up, I think that this Linear Fusion is going to be pretty great, having that solar synergy with it. Now, again, that was a longer video, but I went over a lot of solar weapons that I'm going to be taking with me next season with Solar 3.0. I think they're going to have some crazy synergy, crazy build potential coming up here with all the changes and everything like that. So I am super pumped for everything coming in the future with Solar 3.0 and all of these weapons, pairing it especially with those exotics that I talked about yesterday in that video. So thank you guys again for watching. Hopefully this helped you guys out, figure out which solar weapons you kind of want to take with you into next season with Solar 3.0, because we're going to get some crazy explosions going on. So thank you guys so much again. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.